Hello everyone and welcome back. It's time for more of the top 100 and we're getting real close to the top now. It is 30 to 21. Oh, so this is going to be interesting. So let's start with number 30, Mario Kart 64. I think the best Mario Kart. And there are a lot of reasons why I think it's the best Mario Kart. I guess you could say nostalgia. Let's get that out of the way. Obviously, it's a bit nostalgia blind of me to say that this is the best Mario Kart since I grew up with the Nintendo 64. So, we'll throw that one out of the way. But, in my opinion, I think the graphics are the most charming. So, the stages that you get in this game are the most sort of memorable, in my opinion. The original Toad's Turnpike, you've got Sherbet Land, and I think one of the best Banshee Boardwalk maps, even like the little entrance thing with all the bats that come at you. I really like that part. Of course, the Rainbow Road in that one is probably one of the best. And I was really pissed off in Mario Kart 8 when they remade it and it looked nothing like it was in the game, and also made it one lap is all 3 laps. That annoyed me, but anyway, there's so many memorable maps in that, and I think the music is some of the best Mario Kart has ever had. Obviously, it's not one of those games where music makes or breaks, but I think it's got some of the best tracks in all of Mario Kart, like I said. And they really bring the worlds to life. To life, like in Koopa Troopa Beach, and things like that. There is one thing that I think brings this game down. The one and only thing, and that is rubber banding. This game has serious rubber banding issues. It takes away a lot of the fun. If it didn't have rubber banding issues, it'd probably be higher than 30. But the rubber banding is a massive problem, and there are other games of this era that did not have such bad rubber banding issues. Like, seriously, it was at a point where you could race to goddamn perfection, and one green shell at the end would mean you'd come like 4th, because 2nd and 3rd are constantly behind you. You can't get away from them. It's like actually impossible. So, yeah, that was a shame. Number 29. This is a bit of a controversial one. I've noticed a lot of people hate this game, but I don't know. It has gone down a few spots for me, but it's still very high up. Donkey Kong 64. Yes, Donkey Kong 64. What can I say except, even if you hate these grand, expansive collectathons, and if you think Donkey Kong 64 destroyed the collectathon genre and made it all terrible, and we went into a big age where it didn't happen for a good, 20 years because of this game, you're free to think that. You're probably even right. But a word I've been using a lot as we've gone up in the list is an adventure, and Donkey Kong 64 is an adventure. It is like the epitome of it. There are just so many beautiful worlds in Donkey Kong 64 to explore. It's like every world is massive and hard to traverse, yes, but each one looks so beautiful and has all these expansive little areas that you can go to. The one that comes to mind is in the deserts, where you have the temple thing, the big temple area that you can go to, and all 5 characters have different rooms in the temple you can go to and do all their things, and that is really entertaining for me. And there's a lot of stuff like that. Fungi Forest as well has a lot of cool stuff like that. Sometimes the switching can get annoying, I agree. I think Donkey Kong 64 would be an amazing game if they had an instant switch button. Seriously, remake Donkey Kong 64 and just add in some better graphics, better frame rates, and a switch on the fly button instead of the tag barrels, and I seriously think you will have an amazing game that will actually hold up to the test of time this time around. That is my thought on Donkey Kong 64. If you could switch to anyone, just on the fly, I feel like this would be an even more amazing game, and I feel like more people would agree with me. But as it is, I still think it is an amazing game, even if you have to run back and forth sometimes. Yeah, it can be time consuming, but the rest of the game is still there. The music. Do I have to talk about the Nintendo 64 era rare music. Donkey Kong 64 has got some of the best tracks in all of gaming. In fact, I have bought a soundtrack of it on my phone. That's how that's how much I like it. I think it's a cover thing. But yeah, the Donkey Kong 64 Symphony. Symphony. That's the word. I'm not going to say who it's by because it's not great. But anyway, of course, I love all this sort of stuff, and I think it's an amazing game. Not going to tread over myself again and again, so let's go on to number 28. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. Oh, yes. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. We talked about Super Mystery Dungeon before, but that game pales in comparison to the first Pokemon Mystery Dungeon of the series, Red and Blue Rescue Team. This game is a masterpiece. It introduced me to a whole different world of Mystery Dungeon games. What can I say? The music in this game is iconic. The story in a Pokemon game, I'm talking about the story, but it's actually really cool and interesting. It's one of those things where Pokemon is sort of an RPG where the main goal is catching them all and going from place to place. It's not about the story. That's negligible. But in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, the story drives forward everything that happens. So you've got all the key points. You've got your villains. You've got when your team all forms and then it's downfall and then it's rise back up. You've got all these different like crossroads and things that you can do. You can recruit new friends, go to so many different amazing places. The story is great. The main story you can beat in like 9-10 hours. But hey, this was a GBA game, so I can give it a little slack, and also you can like double that playtime just by doing the post-game stuff. So for the time, it was a really great game, and I think it still holds up amazing. And of course, this is a mystery dungeon where you get to play as all the Pokemon. You can find a huge variety of ones, not every single one, but a huge variety that you can befriend and use in dungeons, and you can pick who you want to use for which dungeon, which has the best typing, and go after bosses, go after high-powered opponents, get some good items. You know how a mystery dungeon game works, but yeah, I think this is one of the best examples, and I absolutely love this game. Definitely high up there for me. Number 27. Here we go. Glitch thinks that the best Super Smash Bros. Game is Brawl. I know, I'm anticipating your pitchforks now, and I know, everyone is so disappointed in me, but it's true. Before Smash 5 has come out, again, just like when I was talking about Smash 4, I have to point out that this list and these videos are all coming out in the sort of middle to ending part of 2018, where Smash 5 has not come out yet and will not come out for another couple of months. So, there you go. 2019, time will tell. But as for 2018, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, I think is the best Smash Bros. Now, why do people hate Smash Bros. Brawl? Well, there was a trip mechanic added, and a lot of people thought that this was pandering to the casual market. And, the type of people who complain about this stuff, all the really hardcore melee fanatics, just to... Yes, the tripping mechanic can be very annoying, and I can completely understand. I completely agree with you guys that it is terrible. But I feel like if you're gonna let one mechanic like that sour how you see the entire game, I feel sorry for you. I hate the fact that this game has become such a joke because they added one mechanic, and people don't seem to notice all the good that Brawl did. Let me just put this out of the way. Because of Tournament Mode, a mode that has not appeared in any of the other 3 as of now released Smash Brothers, but I hear it is going to be in Smash 5. Fuck yeah. Tournament Mode gave me and my friends literally hundreds if not thousands of hours of replayability and playtime with this game. The Tournament Mode is probably the best thing that Smash has ever done. You can get up to 32 people. We put 32 people in, and we give each of us 2 characters to use, and with those 2 characters we all versus each other or versus the computers, and then if two of ours are in the same brackets, we drop one. But it basically gives us 2 chances to get to the top, and then we all fight it out if we've been able to beat all the computers in the finals. Which sometimes doesn't happen, because we put the computer levels on random, which is another great thing you can do. Because it makes sense. If you're in a tournament, some people are going to be better than others. Sometimes you'll have to verse a level 9 in round 1, just to verse a level 3 in round 3. So, you know. Another thing, obviously, Subspace Emissary. Oh boy, they don't make them like that before or since. Yes, the board game thing was okay in 4, but it was no Subspace Emissary. And I think even the people that hate Brawl and Trip Mechanic can agree with me on this, that Subspace Emissary was one of the coolest things the Smash series has done. I will stick to that no matter what. It is. And it's so cool that Brawl had this unique character unlocking system where you could unlock them you can unlock everyone just by going through the Subspace Emissary and turning all of these characters who have been taken by the evil characters. You can get them back. And if you get them back in the story mode, then you get them in the game. If you save them, you can go and play them in the game. How cool is that? I can't believe that they didn't bring that back for 4, man. That is such a cool concept. How can you not love that? Of course, there are so many other modes in this game that I can't count, that I've spent so many hours on. It's just an amazing all-round experience. There are a couple of maps I don't like. There are some big maps like Pork City or something, the Earthbound round. That one really sucks. But apart from that, and also the level creator, that was really awesome as well. Just so many cool things. And I think if they expanded on that level creator that Brawl had, you could do some really seriously cool stuff with it. And now they've got the online thing. You could have people, like in Smash 5, you could have people play your stages, make them, upload them onto that new network they have. Like, that would be worth people's $20 a year. Put some proper things on it. Don't just make Super Mario Party's 10 minigames you can play with friends. Get some proper shit like that on there. Upload your created maps. That would be amazing. Seriously, all these things they need to bring back. They're bringing back tournament mode, so it can be done. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, in my opinion, is the best one that's come out at the time of recording this. So, there you go. Sorry, Melee fans. It ain't happening. Number 26 is FZero X. This is a game that I didn't play for the first time until I was 20. And you think, wow, it's an N64 game that the N64 guy didn't play until he was 20. A really rather well-known one, too. And yeah, it's kind of surprised me as well. And I think what might surprise some astute people as well might be the fact that I am putting FZero X above Mario Kart 64. So does this mean that I think FZero X is better than Mario Kart 64? Well, yes, honestly. The fact that you can have 30 races on a track at one time is absolutely bloody insane. The fact that you can spin into competitors and, like, smash them all against the walls is fucking amazing. The soundtrack is fucking amazing. All the customizations you can do, the cars, all the characters that you have, just all the maps, and you've got the Joker Cup, which is literally randomly generated maps. So much replayability. And again, this is one of those games like in Mario Kart 64, you can play it with other friends, and you can all start smashing each other against the walls. Like, how fucking cool is that? In my opinion, FZero X, at least, does do some things that Mario Kart 64 just cannot do. And Mario Kart 64 always have a place in my heart, and it's always the go-to game for my friends, but if I got to choose, FZero X would definitely be the one that I would whip out at more gatherings. So, FZero X, I think it's better than Mario Kart 64. It's just an amazing game all round. Squeak. Number 25, Bomberman Land Wii. Now, I didn't put any Bomberman games on here except Bomberman Land Wii, and I didn't even put it on here for the Bomberman mode. Of course, you got the Bomberman mode that you have in every Bomberman game, where you're in a grid and you have to blow up your other competitors. And my friends and I played that quite a bit. You got a bunch of different maps, a few different rules and things you can do, and a few different modes. That's all really fun, but where this game absolutely shines for me without a doubt is in its story mode. It hits all the right spots for me. it's not a Bomberman game in a normal sense. Bomberman Land Wii is about there's this new amusement park thing, and if you rank up a certain amount, you get to battle it out to be the champion of the park, and get to have the crown and everything until someone comes up and takes it from you. And so the first champion is crowned, and he ends up being a massive tool, and taking the director hostage, and basically making up every rule he wants to make it as hard as he can for anyone to challenge him and dethrone him. So it's up to you and your friends, Cool Black, Pink, Yellow, Green, all of them, to go and try and dethrone him. And of course it's really down to you, because of course you're the one that's going to be doing that sort of stuff. But your friends come along for the ride. And what's really cool is you start at the ring zone, and this game has 5 zones. Now basically you're pit against 29 other people, and you have to do attractions, and you get an A, B, C, D, or E ranking depending on how you do in the attractions, and that gives you points. And then you go up on this leaderboard, and if you get high up on the leaderboard, you get promoted to the next area. If you're in the middle of the board, you get held back in the same area, and if you're really low on the board, you get demoted back to a previous area. And I absolutely love that thing. It's amazing. I love that that's a thing. It hits all the sort of right spots. Like, this is an amazing idea for a game, and I wish more games did this sort of thing. And if they did, let me know, because holy shit, it's amazing. You guys, you gotta try Bomberman Land Wii if you haven't played it already. It's probably one of the best games on the Wii that you'll get, and it's one that not a lot of people talk about. When people talk about, great classic games on the Wii, this is the one that people should be talking about. It is absolutely amazing. Go try it. It has to be cheap by now, but then again, it is kind of unknown, so maybe it isn't that cheap. Look around. Hopefully you can catch it, because if that's your sort of thing, it is definitely not a game you want to miss out on. Not at all. Number 24. Well, we're getting on to some of my really favorite games. The top 25 here. I mean, wow, these are really getting up there for me. Okay, number 24 is Yoshi's Woolly World. I waited for the day that something like a Yoshi on the Nintendo 64 era game would arise, and we got all the Yoshi's Island games, and they were alright. And we got Yoshi's New Island, and that was very mediocre. And I thought Yoshi was just going to be dedicated to that series of games from now on, but then here comes Yoshi's Woolly World. A sort of successor to Kirby's Epic Yarn, and it absolutely blew me away. It is the game that I had wanted for over a decade. It had charm up the ass. This game is so goddamn charming. You can't help but smile playing the first few worlds of this. As you get on, it's still charming, but it's so rage-inducing that your smile turns into a... But, so charming, you can't help but smile while playing it. The music is some of the best music again, I think that there is. The graphics are so creative. Everything is made out of yarn or knitting equipment, like buttons and needles and things. It's so artistically amazing. Kind of like how Yoshi's Island did the whole crayon aesthetic. This is another one of those ones where they played around with an aesthetic and it absolutely worked. And of course, it keeps the proper platforming style, kind of meshed the Nintendo 64 era and the Island era together, and I think it makes something beautiful. So many collectibles to get. There's some collectibles that give you different colors of Yoshis, and there's so many different colors of Yoshis that you gotta find one that you love, and trying to collect all of them is an absolutely amazing experience. This is one platformer that, again, gave me hope for the future of platformers that wasn't technically a Mario one, and I'm really looking forward to whatever they do with this concept next, because goddamn, this was amazing. Number 23. This one is interesting because I talked about the Nintendo 64 era of platforming, and I talked about the new age of platforming that has come out as of this sort of era. Oops. Last time I did that, it broke the recording. So, and I'll just say it again, and this era of platforming. But there was that middling era, that era at around the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 days. And I think one platforming game stood out for me in that era. And that game is SpongeBob Squarepants, Battle for Bikini Bottom. Oh yes, I loved this game as a kid way before it became the big popular game thanks to speedrunning and breaking boundaries or whatever, things like that. I loved this game way before that. This game was amazing. I played it as a preteen, because that was around the age I was when the Xbox came out, and I loved the hell out of it. I played it for hundreds and hundreds of hours. It was the Super Mario 64 for the Xbox. You collected golden spatulas, and you go around to different worlds, and you'd be able to unlock new worlds after you collected enough golden spatulas, and each world had a set amount of missions to do. In honesty, this game is more Super Mario 64 than Odyssey is, but, you know. But yeah, you would go around to all these worlds, you'd see the mission names, it would give you a clue to what the mission is, you'd go around and do it, and then eventually you'd get to verse a boss, and if you beat that boss, you'd get to open a whole new area, and eventually, you would get to verse the final boss and, you know, beat the game and everything, and it was just a lot of fun. The music is great, the level design is creative, can be a bit frustrating at times, especially at the end, with levels like Kelp Forest and SpongeBob's Dream. It can get a bit bullshit at times, which is why it's a little lower on the board. But I still think it's an amazing must-try for anyone who's into that sort of game. It really is amazing. And of course, you know, all the voice actors for SpongeBob come on, and it's all voice acted, and it's all really nice. Again, it has that whole, like an episode of the show feeling, which I praised the South Park games for having. This one's got it too, except for SpongeBob, so yeah, can't recommend it enough. Number 22. This game is criminally underrated. And that game is Snowboard Kids 2. Snowboard Kids 2. Yes, another racing game on a Nintendo 64 that I put above Mario Kart 64. I think this is the best racing game on the Nintendo 64. And me being a fan of Nintendo 64, well, you know that's high praise. Snowboard Kids 2 is an amazing game where it's basically racing, but with snowboards. And not too much of a story, but basically you and your friends go and just race around a bunch of tracks. I think it's like 12 or something. And all the tracks have a really cool aesthetic. You'd think, oh, it's a snowboarding game, they're all going to look like boring snowy hills, but no, the first one is a snowy mountain, but then you get like this tropical area, and then you end up going like underwater. One of the levels is like you get shrunk down, and then you race around a house. There's haunted mansions, there's regular mansions, there's like ice levels, there's like Christmas towns. There's so many great, like, this game should not be this good, but it is. They put a lot of time into it. Again, the music, just so amazing. Again, it did not need to be this good, but it is. It is absolutely amazing. And this game even has bosses. Mario Kart 64 and FZero X didn't have bosses. True, the bosses in this game are a bit bullshit, but they're there, and the thought is nice. This game, of course, unlike F-Zero, you actually get items, but this time you have 2 item slots. Yes, the whole 2 item slots thing before Mario Kart 8. You got one that's your weapon, and then there's one that's your tactical sort of thing. So you'll have, your tactical one is where you'll get speed boosts, rocks, which are like the banana peels of this game, and my favorite, the frying pan. You shoot it up, and all 3 players, all your 3 races get squashed. It's like a blue shell for everyone. It's absolutely amazing. I think Snowboard Kids 2 is a must-try for anyone who's a fan of racing games in general. It's held up today, and I can't recommend it enough. Snowboard Kids 2. Better than Mario Kart 64, better than F-Zero X. Put that on the fucking poster for it. And finally, what is the last one before we get into the top 20? Holy shit, this is exciting. Top 20. But which one was just below that? Which one hit number 21? Well, that game, still as absolutely amazing as any on the top 20 here. Super Mario Galaxy. Yes, Super Mario Galaxy is just beautiful, beautiful game. What else could you say about it? We gotta go with the elephant in the room here. The orchestral score in Super Mario Galaxy. Just, wow. You know, what else can you say? The observatory theme, the Gusty Garden, just the underwater, all the underwater themes is just... This game is something to play for the soundtrack alone, but that's not even talking about all the awesome fun levels, the beautiful detail in all of them. Again, the whole 1-star mission thing that you get to do, just like SpongeBob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom. So many worlds to explore, so many things to unlock. Tight controls, just what you would expect from a 3D Mario game. The spin ability in Super Mario Galaxy is amazing. I love that ability, and I'm glad they brought it back for another game. It's just all around this amazingly awesome tight game. Sometimes the gravity can get a bit iffy because it's doing the whole 3D gravity thing, but, you know, it's a great first attempt at it, and, I mean, it's a classic. What more do I have to say? Super Mario Galaxy, absolutely amazing. And that wraps it up for all the bottom 80. Now we have, coming up next, the top 20. These are all the games that are, in my opinion, legendary status. But some of them are more legendary than others. But this next episode, 20 to 11, are all the absolutely legendary cornerstone games, in my opinion, that just didn't make the cut. So, even though this next episode is going to be 11 to 20, think about this as sort of just some of the best games, I think, ever around. None of these games are slacking at all. All of them are absolutely amazing and special. So, I really hope you'll join me as we follow on to the next one. Did I do better than 27 minutes this time? No, 27 minutes and 30 seconds. Good God, man. Alright, I'll wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you follow on through, and I'll see you next time. Bye!